I guess let's just get started, right?
Okay.
All right, so when did you guys get your first dose of the vaccine, or like when are you expecting to get it?
I got my first shot on January 9th, and I got my second shot this morning,
Okay.
February, what is this, the 4th?
Yeah, it's the fourth.
Somewhere along in there. And very little reaction from the first shot. And on the second shot, so far, I don't even have a sore arm. So I got my fingers crossed that everything goes well.
And I got my first shot on January 23rd, and I'm going to get my second one next Thursday, February 11th, here at Seminole County at
So
Sears.
Oviedo Mall?
At the Oviedo Mall at Sears.
Okay.
That's where I got my first one too, and it was very organized.
So do you want to tell me more about the process? Like, how was like from booking the appointment to like getting the shots? Could you walk me through that?
Do you want each of us to do it? Because we each went to different places.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. I started off, I tried about 3 times to get into Orange County on their website. And every time I was notified that they were coming up for openings, by the time I got on, they were all filled. So it was a frustrating experience. After 3 weeks, I got up one morning at 6 o'clock and had the local news on, and they said that the VA hospital at Lake Nona was giving shots to veterans over 65. So I quickly threw my clothes on, got in the car, ran out to Lake Nona, walked in. As a walk-in, most of the people had already had appointments, but I was the walk-in, and they took me right away. And it was the most professional and personal operation I've ever seen. It was just like clockwork. It was beautiful. And I was out of there in 25 minutes with my first shot. And the only malady I had was a sore shoulder at the shot site for about 8 or 10 hours, and it was gone. No other ailments. This morning, I got the shot at 8:45. And right now, as I grab my arm, there's no pain whatsoever. So hopefully that'll go on like that. So
Well,
I've had a really good experience.
I'll call you tomorrow if I can't wake him up.
So Miss Dixon, how was your experience like?
Well, mine was different, a little bit different. All in all, I want to say that once I got an appointment, I think Seminole County probably was one of the best places to live in order to try and get one. You know, they seem to be organized after you got the appointment. The big problem for everybody, as you've been listening, is getting an appointment. We tried for weeks, and finally we got into Orange County. And then I thought, well, Orange County, I wasn't even going to be able to get my first shot until the end of February. So what happened is we kept those appointments. Mr. Dixon and I both kept our appointments at Orange County for the end of February. And that was after trying for 3 weeks to get on, you know, for hours at a time. Then we kept trying more locally. Like I kept trying for Seminole County at prepareseminole.org. And then they'd throw you over to Eventbrite, and then they'd throw you over to Nexi, you know. So it was very confusing to people that like us, that, you know, we're not working every day on computers. We just substitute. So we're retired, but it was very confusing for us. But anyhow, I kept trying and Todd kept trying. And like he said, he found the VA suddenly on TV, and we ran down, he got that. Then 2 days later, he called me from Publix or someplace and said, get on quick. There's an opening at Seminole at the mall. So luckily my daughter was still here, Mrs. Embry, and she substitutes at Eastlake or at the Haggerty too. And she happened to be here, and she's savvy, you know, on the computer.
Yeah.
And so are the cell phones. And she got me, we got in. And so I got my appointment. And in the meantime, Mr. Dixon had his appointment with the VA. When I went down on the 23rd of January, I went to Sears, and they were highly organized. And I got in line, and within probably 10 minutes, I had my shot and had to wait 15 minutes to make sure, under the eye of frontline workers, you know, to make sure there was no reaction. There were hundreds of people there. Everyone was spread out. All the people, the elderly people like ourselves, they were all in seats. So no one was having to stand for hours like they did in the beginning when they first opened the mall. When they first opened Oviedo Mall, they had all the old people by the food court, and they were having to stand for hours, you know, to wait in line. But this was different. Once they moved it from the food court in Oviedo Mall to Sears, empty Sears store in Oviedo Mall, it was very organized. Then before I left, I got in a very short line. You were able, as you came in, to get your shot, to sign up immediately for your second shot. Or if you didn't do that, and I didn't, I was able to sign up at the end of my shot and get in line before I left for the second shot. And now I'm hearing today's news that people in Orange County, where our shots were originally scheduled, they had, you know, thousands of people lined up. And they only gave them their first shot, but they never scheduled their second shot. So now so many people are having trouble getting a second shot in so many places, you know. So we canceled our Orange County shots, and now we're where we're at now. What I understand now, all my friends that live in the villages and places around, they're from out of state. And as of 2 weeks ago, they can't get their shots here anymore if they don't have own a house here or have a Florida. They have to have a Florida driver's license.
Yeah. So it's really interesting how my grandma got in like just in time.
Well, when I got my first shot at the VA, we had to wait 15 minutes before we could leave, and I waited 15 minutes, and they came up and said, "Okay, you're clear to go. Would you like some coffee?" I said, "Oh, in the morning, I'd love a cup of coffee." The guy left and came back, and he handed me a pound of coffee.
Oh, wow.
I said, "What?"
Wait till I'm going to see if I can find it to show you.
And I looked at it, and it was in its own bag, personalized bag, that said, "Thank you, veterans. We appreciate your service," and all this sayings on the bag. And I thought that was really nice. But I would rather have had a cup of coffee at that time.
That's really sweet, though.
And another thing that after I had my...
Stay on the coffee for a minute. Here's a picture. See if you can take it. Coffee for the troops.
I love that. That's so nice.
Coffee for the troops.
But after I had my first shot on the 9th, I was scheduled for my second shot on the 30th of January. And on the 23rd, 24th of January, unfortunately, I came down with the shingles. I said, "Oh, I don't need this right now. I want my second shot." So I had to cancel my second shot on the 30th. And they said, well, as soon as it clears up, give us a call and we'll get you right in. So yesterday morning, I called them and I said, "Hey, everything's in remission. It's all cleared up. I'd like to schedule." She said, "Sure. Can you come in the morning?" I said, "Absolutely. I'll be there." So I went in this morning and got the second one. And so far, no reaction, nothing. It's been great.
We were wondering if the shingles had anything to do with the shot he got, because he had all the shingle shots, all the newest ones and the boosters. And that's something none of the doctors know about for sure.
Right. So that leads into my second question. did you guys have any concerns about getting the vaccine before you did? I know a lot of people are like, at the beginning when it like came out, they were like, oh, well, like, what's the difference? And like, should I get like the vaccine because it's so early in the process? But did you guys have any concerns about that?
Absolutely none whatsoever. I would have gone in a heartbeat the second I could have gone, which I did when as soon as I found out it opened up at Lake Nona at the VA. I was there an hour and a half later.
Now, I didn't either, but it did cross my mind, that maybe I'd like to wait just a couple weeks, see if anybody drops dead or, has some crazy disease.
Yeah.
But we had to wait anyhow, so it didn't matter. But speaking on those terms, we have a grandson. My daughter gave her 70% of her liver last year. He was a Haggerty graduate too. He had to have a liver transplant. And so in regard to family members wondering about the shot, they're right now very, worried about whether he should get his shot or not, because his rejection medicines, go up and down, and this deals with immunity and immune system. So right now, I just spoke with my daughter this morning. They're both very worried as to whether he should get it or not. And they call their hospital in Pittsburgh. Miami hospital dealt with him as well. And they said he could come down there and get it. But people like transplants today, they just opened all the hospitals for that. People at risk like him with transplants and diseases. That's a worry that they all have, how is it really going to react, because they don't have tons of data on it. They're telling everyone to get it, but a lot of people like that are worrying about it. So you have that angle.
Yeah. So what vaccines did you like, which one did you get, Moderna or Pfizer? And did you have a vaccine preference at the time that you got it?
I was hoping for Pfizer because it has the highest efficappy rate.
I got Pfizer also.
And we both got it,
Okay.
both Pfizer. So we feel happy about that.
I was hoping Hershey's would come out with one, but they didn't.
Hershey chocolate.
That would have been an interesting vaccine from Hershey's. So how have you guys been dealing with COVID at home, and why did you decide to get the vaccine?
Well, we've been like everybody else. I hope everybody else. We've been staying close to home. We go out for food or go to the store and get food and all that kind of stuff to bring in. But we always have masks on, and we always have hand sanitizer in the car and wipes and everything. And it's it's live as best you can from one day to the next and just keep on plugging.
I have to say the same pretty much, but I'm going crazy because he's the one that does all the shopping in the store. And I just go out and I talk to the plants in the yard. I trim the trees. I work on my daughter's yard. And I protect them and tell them they're never going to get COVID. They're the only people I talk to unless one of my kids comes up. But even with our daughter, because of the transplant, we have to meet them in the driveway. We can't go near them, and we always have to wear masks. So we've never been in their house since last February, And my other children, my daughter Molly's here now. She comes, but they're pretty safe too. They're watching themselves, and they don't have the shots yet. So we're really happy about getting the shots. But yeah, it's for me, I've been going crazy. Todd and I both miss all the high school kids. We're getting our shots as soon as we can so we can get back to teaching. Because of our age, we had to drop out of subbing, and we've been doing that for 15 years at Haggerty. So it's been terrible for us that way. We really miss. We didn't realize how much of a social life it was with all the kids and the teachers, And so we're going crazy that way. We can't wait to get back in March. We're hoping to get back in March.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have been on Connect Life, and because I'm a senior, I'm gonna graduate on Connect.
Yay!
So you guys said that you didn't, huh?
By the way, we do have a granddaughter that's a senior at Haggerty too. You never see her because she came over from Germany to have the
Oh.
American experience last year, Maya Dixon. And this is the experience she's had, COVID.
That's so
She
unfortunate.
decided to stay this year, and she actually lives with my daughter with the transplant, with my grandson, and she helps them all the time, and still is going her senior year at Haggerty online and wants to graduate from Haggerty. So that's interesting. We sympathize with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad. I couldn't really have gone back to school this semester anyways. I have 2 periods off, and they're 4th and 7th.
Oh my
So
God.
so that's the really awkward. You said that you guys didn't experience any side effects or anything, right?
Not so far, just the first shot for about 6 or 8 hours. My arm was a little sore right around the injection site, but other than that, no adverse effects.
And for me, being an 81-year-old woman, I went right out in the yard and threw mulch.
That's a great activity to do after you get the vaccine. So how important do you think it is to get vaccinated for COVID? And what would you tell others about why they should get a vaccine now that you've gone through the experience yourself?
Well, I think from an economic standpoint in the nation, we're never going to get back to where we were if at least 85% of the people get vaccinated, because it creates the herd immunity that you read about. And I just feel it's the quickest way for everyone to get back to normal again, even around the world. We need to hurry up here and then help other nations in the world with our vaccines that we have, share with the nations of the world, because everyone in the world is in the same spot. And it's so important, I think, for at least get our own country squared away, and then we can really help others in a better fashion.
I just wish 100% of the people would take the advice of the experts and wear their mask and have hand sanitizer around and all, and take care of themselves. It's not only helping them, but it's helping others. I would hate to have it on my conscience that I was the cause of somebody else getting the virus and having a bad time with it. I can't see it.
I was really upset to see that this morning's news. It was a market, food market, and hardly anyone in there was wearing masks. And it was in Naples, Florida. And the reporter just happened to be going by on another story, he was going by the store, and he got his videotape and videoed them. And it was shocking to see how few people were wearing masks in Naples, Florida.
Yeah, I feel like the situation in Florida is like pretty bad, but I think hopefully hopefully in the next couple of months it gets better. I'm just praying there can be a normal kind of graduation. Normal.
Oh, yes.
Amen.
Wouldn't it be wonderful?
It would be very nice. After sitting inside my room since March, for practically 12 months almost?
Yeah, almost.
I remember the 2-hour drive-by last graduation that they had out at school, where all the teachers were out around the school and everybody drove by, all the kids, seniors and all drove by. and waved at their teachers. I thought, oh my gosh, what a way to what a way to graduate.
But we helped them because we went and got the dog, you know, the
Yes.
husky
Uh-huh.
that they have, in the big husky that we used at homecoming, and we put it and taped it on top of our car. We got in the line. We put a sign on the side of our car. We're real seniors, and we graduated in 19.
The class of 56.
Yeah, the class of
Wow.
56.
Wow,
Everybody loved it. All the seniors loved it.
that sounds super cool. But yeah, that's really all the questions I have. Do you want to add anything else about your vaccine experience or anything?
Yeah, I'd never want to have to go through it again. And if we do have another pandemic, hopefully they will, and supposedly, statistically, due to climate change, we're going to get others in the years to come, that they will have learned a lot from this and be better able to help the people in a manner that isn't quite as confusing and frustrating and stressful. Hopefully they'll have all the kinks worked out of it before we have another pandemic,
Right.
if ever. Do you have anything to say, Todd?
But all in all, I think the experience that we had with getting the shots and the process that we went through at the two different locations, I was pleasantly surprised at how well organized the VA was to run us through out there and to get the job done. They're still having VA veterans come in and get their shots. And this has been a month, and it's been a month-long process so far. And they still had quite a turnout this morning of veterans coming in. Now, they might have been coming from other counties, other states, I don't know. But they're really doing a superb bang-up job, I think.
And I think Seminole County, I think they were ahead of the game. They got their plans in. They were the first county in Florida to get their plans in. And I think, you know, other than the difficulty that everyone's having getting on to get an appointment, that once you were there, it was very well organized. I have to hope that Seminole County can get CVS, Walgreens, and Publix going, and the different hospitals. They're already getting cranked up to start the at-risk people. So I think it's looking up now, and hopefully it'll just get better. Okay.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharika. Appreciate it.